Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this August 23rd, 2025. And you can see we've had a consolidation, excuse me, for the most part, to the downside here today across the crypto sphere on this Saturday, right? And that would be to be expected after the ferocious pump, after the Fed and the market now are building an 89 or 86.5% probability that the Federal Reserve will reduce at least a quarter basis point the short-term interest rates next month in September when the Fed meets. So the crypto market, the gold and silver bullion market, and the stock market, they all pumped, building in and baking in that the Fed will reduce rates next month. And you can see the big pump that you had Friday. Now we're consolidating like you would expect. We're sitting just about at the 50-day moving average in the daily at 114,000 and change. We'll update those moving averages today. I'm sure they're pretty much just running parallel still. The 50 is sitting right there. The 100 is almost exactly on top of the pattern support. And then the 200-day is significantly below that. So you can see what you're looking at now is if you can hold that 50, you can continue this rally in Bitcoin this week and try to make a run at the 124,000. If you get back below this 50, which you're right on top right now, you're likely to come down to the 100-day moving average that just so happens to conveniently be sitting on the 3-year pattern support. And then you would expect at least a brief but significant pump or rally off of that support level there with the Bitcoin price. The Ethereum price is the same thing. We had that magnificent bounce off of the 4,059 like we talked about from 2 weeks ago when you made your high here. And then we said you'd probably come back down and you should bounce off into that. And you did. You briefly made a new high and you made a new all-time high. And now you're consolidating just below it. And what should happen now is off of this next consolidation, you should break that and start pushing towards the $5,000 mark, right? But for any reason, if that doesn't happen, your major underneath support is the neckline support of the megaphone resistance breakout, right? 4,059. For any reason that it wants to come down, that is your major underneath support in Ethereum. But technically now you should break back through that all-time high and start to make inroads to 5,000 and eventually 10,000 in the long term, maybe the next year. You see Ethereum or XLM had a nice pump on the 22nd with the news, and you can see we got almost up to the 43 cents. We did get rejected, and now we're trading down. And now what you want to see is out of this consolidation right here, which I'm sure XRP looks the same. Out of this consolidation, you want to see that break out of it, because on a targeted breakout, that would get you back up to here, up to a regional high of 46 cents and get you above a critical 43 cents. Major horizontal left to right support. Obviously, the moving averages below are your major moving averages to stay above. Right now, you're above the 50. You can see where the 50's at. The 50 is significantly below the price right now, but it is uptrending. You can see the 100-day moving average is just above now. Just above, peaking just above that green support and resistance box. And then you can see the 200-day moving average is getting almost to the middle of that support and resistance box. So in the short term, as long as you're above the 39 cents, which is the 200-day moving average, you're bullish and you're going to try to re-break the 43 cents and then eventually try to come up to 55. If for any reason you slip the 50-day in the daily, you're going to come down to the 100-day, which is sitting on the top part of that green support and resistance box at 36 cents. XRP is going to be in the exact same formation. You can see it's the exact same bounce. You can see the 50-day moving average is also slightly trying to uptrend, but you bounce significantly off of that. We can delete that. You're bounced just above the 100-day moving average, which is trending up. The 200-day moving average is just below the critical 255 mark. And the same technical analysis that we used for XLM is what we're using for XRP, is you're just below and you wicked off of the 307 major horizontal resistance. Now you need to stay above the 209, which is uptrending, re-break the 307, and then you can make a run at the 366. And that's what you're trying to do over the next few days. If for any reason you fall below the 294 50-day moving average, you would come down to the 100-day moving average, right? And the XRP in the short term. Longer term, you're trying to break out of the 366 and make a run at the 385 all-time high, and then eventually the $4 mark. The major underneath support on any kind of structural breakdown is 255, right about where the 200-day moving average is, right? Like the channel, subscribe. This was just a quick update. I'm on the go. I'm on the move. I'm doing some things today. We'll get one more update on some altcoins a little bit later on. Peace and love to my beautiful audience.